Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into Pixels in the Animation episode 18, just want to let you know the intro to the show will be Super Mario Bros. Super Show Defective Gadgetry. Enjoy!
Alright, this ought to fit perfect. Yep. By the way, get the door.
How does he always know?
Yo, Mario, you expecting somebody?
I hope it's not that magazine guy.
I understand you plumbers can fix anything mechanical. I need an emergency adjustment. The name is Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Oh, no problem, Gadget. Come back in an hour.
Well, I need you to fix them while I wait. You see, I'm expecting important instructions from the chief.
Yeah, that must be him now.
Does he always do that?
Yeah.
Chief, is that you? Yes, sir. I'll be there as soon as the Mario brothers fix me up. Hurry, fellas, I'm going to pieces.
Are you ready, Dr. Mario?
Yes, I am, Dr. Luigi.
Okay.
What was that for?
Just in case the patient screams, we shouldn't be upset. Wash. Okay.
Okay, Doctor.
To you, Doctor.
Me, Doctor.
Cleanliness, neatness.
Oh, now what do we do?
Waste not, want not.
Mrs. Periwinkle's goldfish, Kenneth. Uh-oh.
Here you go, Doctor.
Hey, Doctor.
Equipment ready?
Yes, sir.
Patient prepped?
Patient prepped.
Okay.
Perfect.
Remember what I told you.
Okay, Doctor.
What is the most important thing?
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness. Cleanliness. I'm okay. Scapulator.
Scapulator.
Permeator. Strudel. Rag.
Rag. Grabber.
Rubber. Got it. Whoa.
Stinkulator.
Stimulator. Right. All done. Huh? I feel like Leonardo da Vinci. It's a masterpiece.
What do you say, Inspector?
What?
I have one question, fellas.
What's that?
How long have you two been working for the evil Dr. Claw?
Why, I oughta...
This is the Triforce of Wisdom, Link. The evil wizard Ganon has the Triforce of Power. Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever. You must help me, Link.
Hey, for you, Zelda, anything.
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Pixels in the Animation. I am one of your hosts, TJ Mike, and joining me is TV's Mr. Deal.
I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorock.
That's a rock lord of a different color. Today we're going to be continuing our journey through Hyrule as we talk about the next 3 episodes of the Legend of Zelda cartoon. Couple of things. I don't want to have to keep mentioning them. I don't think I've mentioned them this point to this point in this section of Pixels in the Animation, but a couple of things I have to mention about Zelda in particular is stuff that I noticed with this show specifically, this podcast's episode specifically. They live in a world where there is stone everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How is Link not a god paraplegic? Like, every time he falls down and basically hits his chin on a piece of stone, he should have his jaw wired shut. Like, I just don't. I know it's make believe, people.
Yeah.
I get that. But, I mean, come on. It just. I don't know. So, what have you been up to since last episode?
Well, drawing comics, watching this, and playing some video games. I was playing through Monster World 4 today, which is a Sega Genesis game that technically didn't come out here.
Yeah, you
Except
like
not-
your
Except
you
on
like your
Virtual Console.
You like your Japanese exclusives.
Hey, it's a good game. One post, seriously? You failed at doing your homework. Told you to start putting more Zelda stuff on your classic gaming page. Sorry.
One post, which we will talk about in episode 20 of the show. Oh, boy. Oh, good Lord. All right. So, yeah, we are here to talk about the next 3 episodes. Doppelganger, Underworld Connections, and Stinging a Stinger. We'll be back after this with what is... This is going to sound weird. I thought it would have been the best episode of the entire series, except it has so much bad animation.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back after this.
I'm sorry, Lord Ganon.
You're sorry. You're sorry.
Blast these incompetent
Servants. You're all idiots.
That dreaded Link is
Seriously starting to annoy me. But he does have a weakness. He'll do anything for Zelda.
I do believe it's time to try this
Special bit of magic I've been saving. Off to the chambers of Princess Zelda you'll go.
and may it be a bad reflection on her.
So first up today is Doppelganger. In another attempt to capture the Triforce of Wisdom, Ganon creates a magic mirror in Zelda's room. When the moonlight shines on it, it creates an evil reflection of her as Ganon's creatures take the real Zelda into the underworld. Having a magic mirror broken before she can enter it, the fake Zelda decides to use Link's love for Zelda to charm him into bringing the Triforce of Wisdom to Ganon before Link realizes that Zelda's reflections is using him. It is worth noting, at the beginning, Link is whistling the Super Mario Brothers theme.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So they returned the favor from that Moon episode.
Oh, yeah. Cross promotion.
Yes. Now we just need the live action segment to... Oh, wait, there was a live action segment that had the Nintendo cereal, so here you go.
Yep.
That was episodes ago, though.
Yeah, that was long ago, yeah. You know... Two Zeldas. I think I have this in my notes, but I'm going to ask you now. Was there ever a design in the games that used the Mirror Zelda outfit?
No.
Okay, so that was something specific for the show.
Right.
Okay. Because that kind of would have been cool.
Yeah, there was technically a Dark Zelda, but that was more like... it was in Twilight Princess. It was Ganon using Zelda as like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
one of those wacky final bosses.
What do you think of the overall plot here?
It's well, it's not original. I know that. There have been evil doppelganger episodes and other cartoons before, and
Yeah.
I did like the design of evil doppelganger Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the evil doppelganger episode, I'm sure, I don't know if you thought of this one, but the one that comes to my mind is, it's such a prime problem.
Yes, yeah.
Optimus Prime, how did he get here? Easy, Starscream, this is a clone I created. Oh, good lord. Yeah, the plot has been seen before, but as you just said, I mean, the whole point of this is the fact that evil Zelda is using Link, and I don't know. So we're gonna go get some wisdom.
Get the Triforce.
Are you all right, Zelda? Ha! 7 years bad luck, Moblin. Starting now!
Drat! I'll need to find another way to get the Triforce back to Ganon. And I think I know just the way. Oh, Link! Thank goodness you're here!
Well, hey. That's what heroes are for. Woo-wee! Finally!
The sad thing is, I have 4 positive notes about this episode and like 7 negative ones. Oh my god. Yeah, we already mentioned it, but you gotta love that product theme tune placement.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of cold? Question mark. You've been wanting a damn kiss from her for ages. You're really complaining now, and it's not really me. I'm being facetious about it because it's like it's not a bad thing that he's complaining, but it's like, come on, Link, start using your brain, which he eventually does.
Right.
Obviously, the alternate costume for Zelda, just awesome, just is.
Yes, it is.
And again, I was really gonna have something bad to say about Link this entire episode if he hadn't come to his damn senses during that trek across the river and through the woods.
I got it.
Yeah. So, what did you like about this one?
Well, other than Evil Zelda, well, I like that the way he knew. Of course, we had the scene where the two Zeldas were together, and something obscured their costumes so that he couldn't tell which was which. And the way he distinguished them was that the real Zelda was a jerk to him. She smacks him in the face and is like, "That's the real Zelda."
Yep. Oh, that's not what he says. He says that's my Zelda.
Yes.
So, oh boy. Every time I keep, and this will come up later today, with a different episode, but every time Link comes up against another human or another human-like creature, it's like, why don't you just use process of elimination? Just zap them both.
Oh.
Because I keep thinking, because they've stated in this series that, oh, that's a real person.
Oh, that's right.
It didn't disappear. So what if he screws up and zaps something? Isn't that person? What is the energy going to do? Is it going to make him bleed? Is it going to cut him open? And
apparently not. He could have zapped Zelda, and she would have been fine. Oops, sorry, princess. I guess the other one's the bad guy.
Yeah. It's like,
you son of a bitch.
It's kind of like the beginning where he shoots it's kind of like the intro segment where he shoots the water and he ends up on the rock and she ends up literally all wet. Yeah. Like, great job, hero. Good Lord. Oh man. I do like this one, but as I was watching it to analyze it, and there's just, I can't believe what is, and I don't know, we're not done yet. We still have a whole other episode after this to see if there are any other really, really good Zelda episodes. Yes, this plot it's generic at best, but it's that other evil Zelda, and the fact that there's two Zeldas on screen at the same time, covered in, it's probably mud, but I'd rather to think of it as Zelda pudding wrestling, but I cannot believe what is probably the best episode of the series has the worst animation at points. Oh boy!
I don't know. There's one coming up that I think is pretty bad, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So let's go get some power after this.
Phew. This thing is heavy. Why don't you make it float like you usually do?
Because I don't want to, that's why. Now shut up!
Excuse me, princess. She doesn't have a reflection. I knew that smooch was too good to be true. That's not Zelda.
So we are back here, and we're going to grab that Triforce of Power, and how the heck is that Moblin scaling the smooth castle wall? There are no grips there. I don't care if the guy has 10-inch fingernails. There's no way in hell he's going to be able to scale that wall that easily.
Yeah, that's just kind of... And no one sees him. Wasn't it broad daylight?
Yes.
Apparently it's so easy to break into this castle. They do it all the time.
It's like there's 4 people that live in the castle. Harkinian, Zelda, Link, and Sprite.
3.5.
Okay, wow.
She doesn't count.
All right, then. Yeah, okay, yes. In general, I normally would not count Sprite, but yeah, you get my point.
Right.
For a minute there, and I said this earlier, I actually wrote this note before I wrote the note about Link actually using his brain back in the Wisdom clip, but for a minute there, I was going to say that Link is the dumbest guy in all of Hyrule, and then he notices the fake Zelda doesn't have a reflection. Yeah, this is another thing we need to discuss. The Triforce, pretty much, okay, it's technically this series, both of them are technically this series' Matrix of Leadership. They're huge MacGuffins in the room that either side needs to get at all times. But if the Triforce of Wisdom is supposed to be all-knowing and wise, why the hell didn't it tell the difference between a real and a fake Zelda? Come on. And the horse. Horses know their owners. Right. I'm sorry. I don't care if a reflection of Zelda came out of the mirror. in a skin-tight black outfit, the horse is going to know the damn difference between its real owner and an imposter.
Right.
That I found that really not plausible at all. But more specifically with the Triforce than the horse. But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Can Link actually talk to the Triforce? I know it's usually Zelda who talks to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But why didn't the Triforce pick up on the fact that it wasn't the real Zelda?
I don't.
The fact that it didn't make it float, which Link does mention.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a part in the animation on the ride to the Underworld that the Triforce just looks weird. It looks like it's kind of like the castle, honestly. In faraway, distant shots of it, it looks just horribly, horribly drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And the Triforce is the same way. Up close, it's nice and sparkly and glittery and looks like it came out of a blue Prius. And far away, it looks like a green triangle that somebody just drew there. I don't know. It's really, really strange. Oh my god. The good come on line is in Zelda's voice, but coming from Link's mouth. Bad. Bad animation alert. Ugh.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo fans ought to really love this episode because the door gag is here.
Yes.
Oh my god. As much as I enjoy certain aspects of Scooby-Doo, I just don't see the door gag being something that a Nintendo cartoon should pull off. There was and I noticed this, and I know I'm nitpicking at this point. There was an early episode of Transformers G1 where Optimus and the other Autobots were captured. At one point, it shows Optimus being all blue. Like, his entire body is blue. Same thing happens here. The good Zelda is shown in the bad Zelda's outfit. But you can clearly tell it's the good Zelda because she's yelling at Link.
Right. Yeah, see, that's the danger back then of doing a Doppelganger episode, is that somewhere along the line, someone's going to screw up the coloring.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. I love Zelda's adventurous woman take charge attitude, but her using Link's sword just seems wrong, and this point will come up later in this episode, I believe. I don't know. It's like because she grabbed it to save him, to zap whatever the hell it was. I forget what the hell it was, but it just seems wrong. What didn't you like about this one?
Well, you pretty much hit all of the regular points. So I'll just say something that like always kind of bothers me. It's kind of the same thing as like perspective shots whenever someone's looking into a monitor talking to someone, and the perspective is always wrong. Like here, when Link sees her lack of reflection in the water,
Yeah.
technically from that vantage point, he should not be able to see that.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, oh god, every cartoon does this mistake, and it always drives me crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It does drive us crazy. But the thing is, if he hadn't noticed it then, when was he going to really figure it out?
True.
Because by this time, he sees that and realizes, like, oh, she's using... Like, he actively knows that she is using him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to use you right back, and you're going to take me to the real Zelda. So, I can kind of give it a pass.
Yeah.
Overall, even though there are some bad animation cues in this, I still think it's by far one of the better, or probably the best episode of the entire series.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Not as Zelda by far.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we are going to move on.
Huh? Princess, what? Ah!
Just what did you think you were doing?
What are you talking about? I was sleepwalking. Now help me before I fall.
Sleepwalking? Sure. You were trying to sneak a quick kiss.
No, I wasn't. I mean, maybe I was, but I was asleep. It wasn't my fault. Anyway, Princess, can you blame me? Whether I'm awake or asleep, you're the girl of my dreams.
That's the sappiest line I've ever heard.
Up next is the Underworld Connections. Link displays sleepwalking, because I can't. I got the description from Wikipedia and I can't read that.
Somnambulism, I think it is.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. In the middle of the night, and unconsciously sneaks towards Zelda's room. Zelda sees his approach and wakes him in time to see a gargoyle-like virus attack and try to steal the Triforce of Wisdom by blowing it into smaller pieces. We'll come back to that, folks. With only a fragment of the Triforce still in their keep, the pair head to the Underworld to recover the other fragments. Why do I feel like I'm watching Zelda Wizard of Oz version? It seems I don't know if it's because of the Vires, even though they're bats. I got a flying monkey vibe off of them, but
it's kind of what they are. The Vires, I think they were only ever in the first game, and what happens is they're kind of like little bat midget things, or I'm sorry, bat little people. And anyway, when you shoot them in the game, they turn into two bats, and that never returns, I don't think.
Huh.
So, Vires are only in the first game.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of, and I know this is much later, but they remind me of the bats you'd eventually find in Mega Man X.
Oh God!
What?
Those things, the ones that have like the little O mouth.
Well, the ones that come to life and start following you everywhere.
Oh yeah,
yeah, those ones. The plot is decent. Again, and I feel like we're gonna repeat ourselves every time we say this, which we do, but it just seems like we've seen it before. But like I've said so far, there isn't anything that is like really. There isn't anything so far in Zelda that has made me want to say, F this show, I'm done, I'm not ever going to watch it again. Sure, there are points where it's like, oh, they did that, or oh, crap, they did this, oh, boy, oh, it's the trope of, hey, missed it by that much with the kiss thing and everything else, but it's like, it's still enjoyable for me to watch this.
Yeah. And like I said, there's no rapping.
Yes, because that commercial doesn't exist. I don't care what YouTube link you send me. God, now that I've brought it up, I do have to put it in the post.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on the overall plot here?
Just that it's kind of cool that they have Link and Zelda going into a water dungeon or a fire dungeon, because those didn't exist in the first game, but they exist in later games. So again, this cartoon is weirdly clairvoyant.
Yes, apparently so.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go find some wisdom.
Not if they blow it apart. That one's got a bomb.
On my way, Princess.
Got work to do.
All right. So it's big, it's green, and it's heavy for Vires to carry, so they blow it up. Wow. The Vyres are bat versions of Ahmed. Oh boy. And wasn't yeah, this was the episode. We completely didn't talk about it in the plot. Missed it by that much. Because Link just barely missed that kiss, but this was the episode on the DVD set that had defective gadgetry.
Yes.
Okay, we gotta take a break in the format here because, like, I heard the voice and I knew it wasn't Don Adams, but I wasn't sure if it was a very young Maurice LaMarche playing the live-action Gadget, and it was. I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. So awesome.
He's very good at that voice.
Yes, he is. I believe he worked with Don Adams.
He did.
So
every interview I've heard, he always brings up how they worked together on the Inspector Gadget cartoon.
Yeah. And it's so awesome. It just is. It really. Oh, I know why he was Gadget in the Super for the Super Show segment is because I think by this time Don had passed away.
No, because Don, I think he lived like early 2000s because he was the voice of Brain in the first live action Inspector Gadget movie. So he stuck around.
I wonder why they didn't get him for this. I mean, maybe it was just too. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. September 2005 was when he died. But yeah, because Maurice wasn't. See, I remember the old Gadget show now that I'm thinking about it, and it was Don as Gadget. Maurice was the Chief. Was the second voice of the Chief. And yeah, but it's just cool that he can do a Don Adams impression, and this segment, he almost looks like him. Almost.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close, and it was just friggin' awesome. So back to the Wiz clip here. Let's see. So is it coincidence that Link has heart-shaped boxers? The fact that you have hearts for life in the games? Because we finally see what's under that night shirt, and I didn't say nightgown on purpose.
I don't know. I think heart shorts is just a common gag in cartoons.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody loses their pants, it's always like hearts on boxers.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Underworld Connections has. This picture will be going in the post, and hopefully it'll attract as many commenters as it did on Facebook. There's an image in this episode where, because of the Triforce being blown in half or blown into thirds, Zelda gets this bright idea of, hey, Link, shoot twice into the Triforce, and because it's magically linked to each other, they'll then destroy the Vyres, and we'll have to go hunt them down. As soon as I saw this image, Look Who's Talking pops into my head, and the whole sex education thing, and I'm like, why is Link shooting his sword into Zelda's Triforce? Oh my god. And everybody on Facebook that I tagged or commented on, and even you said, I have a perpetual dirty mind, and even I didn't think of that. So I have a more dirty mind than TV's Mr. Neil, ladies and gentlemen.
Although immediately after that, I kind of thought maybe she shaves down in the shape of the Triforce.
Oh.
So I'll just take my title right back. Thank you.
Oh man. What did you like about this one?
Well, again, I jumped the gun by mentioning something I liked before we did the likes part of the episode. I like that they had like different themed dungeons in this episode, even though that technically didn't exist in the games at the time. Again, the show seeing the future of the series and possibly I didn't want to admit this at first, but I think somehow Miyamoto saw this cartoon and was picking ideas off of it, because there are way too many things that happen in both the Mario cartoon and the Zelda cartoon that kind of show up later in the games. So I think he was like, oh yes, that's what we can do with later games. We can actually have lava dungeons and water dungeons. And of course, he could have been like just stealing it from Mega Man too, because that's...
Yeah, that too.
Let's see. Wasn't really a very... It's kind of an average episode. It actually deals with the premise of the game, because you're going into the dungeons going after the Triforce pieces, so they actually worked that into an episode. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, but I'll bring that up later. The problem I have, though, is when you say they're going after the Triforce pieces, do you mean that in the games the Triforce of Wisdom was in pieces, or the fact that... Okay.
Yeah, because that's how they did it in the game, is that it was actually in 8 pieces in the game, and you had to go into 8 dungeons to put it back together.
Okay. See, I was thinking the other thing where eventually the 3 Triforces. I was thinking of the Courage, Wisdom, Power. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, speaking of power, let's go get some.
That's far enough. You're going back to Ganon. This is embarrassing.
They're getting away! Stop them!
We better split up.
So, grabbing the Triforce of Power here. Blowing the Triforce apart should have never worked the way it did. I understand they're going for a game reference, but usually when you blow something up, you blow it up completely. It doesn't break into 3 pieces.
3 perfectly symmetrical pieces.
Yeah, that was a little much. While I get it must be defended at all times, Zelda is being a real bitch in this episode towards Link. I mean, she saves him, tells him to go to work, and then when he smashes his face against the stone castle wall, she starts complaining again. And this is the thing I talked about in the intro. In this episode, Link smashes his face against a wall, is hanging upside down by his feet, God knows how high in the air on a stone castle, and there is another time where he basically just crash lands into stone. I mean, this dude should have broken bones and a shattered jaw and everything. Again, I know it's fiction. I know you have to suspend some sort of disbelief, and I have to this point. I haven't really complained about this, but this episode just really put the nail in the coffin on that.
Yeah, he's got to have cracked ribs. There's probably no cartilage left in his knees. Yeah. So
not even the WWE doctors can put him back together again. So another animation glitch. Link enlarges the boomerangs, hands them to Zelda. They then completely disappear. They don't shrink. They completely disappear as she opens and closes her pouch with nothing going in. Mm-hmm. Man, the animation in these episodes today is really bad.
It looked like they just forgot to put the effect in, because what happens is they do disappear, but they replace it with the glowing shape, and then the glowing shape just shrinks down. But it looks like they just forgot to do that.
Yeah. And again, this is something, and you've kind of already answered this. But I asked this. So this is the first time we have ever seen Link actually underwater. I could have sworn that we had seen him in under. Now I'm more so meaning for the series, not really the games. But I could have sworn in another episode I saw him underwater.
It might have been in a previous episode, but I was just saying that as far as the theme of the dungeon, it was the first time we saw a water dungeon.
Water dungeon, yeah.
And it seemed like they did that to explain why the Aquamentus is named Aquamentus. Whereas, I never got that, but in the game, it's not a water creature.
And I don't care what kind of professional shield surfer you are. Shield jumping the fire thing should have never worked, and also shield surfing the fire should have never worked.
Oh, God, shields should never be used as surfboards. And this isn't the last time in this series that happens.
Oh, God, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I haven't watched the other episodes yet. Oh, God. What didn't you like about this one?
Oh, You know what? I didn't write anything down for this episode.
Really?
But, I'll just say... You know, I just didn't have any... It didn't really offend me in any particular way. Probably, just some random animation glitches here and there, but it wasn't, like, really...
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the internet just broke. You won't hear Mr. Neal saying that often.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the final episode of the day after this.
Slow learners.
Say you're one hot swordsman, which reminds me I have just the gift for you for saving my life. Observe, noble sir. The world's most magnificent sword!
Oh, it's beautiful!
It's worth a kingdom in itself, but for you, a present.
Oh, I couldn't.
Please honor an old man. Accept this humble gift.
Well, okay. Whoops, I forgot. I already have a sword.
Here, I'll take your old one. You won't need it anymore.
Gee, I don't know. It's been a pretty good sword.
Yes, but this sword is much better. For instance, it makes whoever carries it irresistible to ladies. If you know what I mean.
Even princesses?
Especially princesses.
Help me!
It's a deal. Oh, boy!
There's a sucker born every minute.
Hey, we want a bonus. You didn't tell us how good he was.
Finally up today is Stinging a Stinger. Link interrupts a highway bandit mugging a peddler named Sleazenose on the path, and to his express gratitude, he gives a fantastic jeweled sword to Link and takes his old sword off his hands. After trying to use it in battle, it breaks, and Link realizes he has been swindled as Ganon captures him in Zelda. Sleazenose attempts to sell the sword to Ganon, only to be captured himself instead, and the three of them luckily escape. Zelda asks the Triforce of Wisdom how to get Link's sword back, and the party sets up an ambush for Ganon as he comes after the Triforce. Oh boy. Why do I feel like I'm watching Zelda Shrek?
Oh, God. I don't know. First of all, what's with this guy's nose?
Cyrano reference, maybe?
I guess, but his nose, not only is his nose long, but it's like wavy. It goes up and down and up, and it ends in an upward point. It's the most bizarre design of a nose I've ever seen.
The only thing he's missing is holding a teacup with his pinky pointing in the air.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I know I've questioned Link's intelligence before, but this episode I'm going to really bring it into question because holy crap.
Because he gives away the sword.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, he's like, so I'm gonna take Aladdin's sword and give to you the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Doesn't even stop to think, gee, does this new sword shoot lasers? No? Well, then fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I only have one. I think we're going to combine the Triforces this time around because I only have one bad note for this entire episode. But overall, what did you think of the plot?
It was kind of funny. It's a more original episode. Although it does make Link look like a total idiot, like more so than usual. Like,
Yeah.
Because I know it's not technically the Master Sword in this cartoon, but still, come on. It's the only sword in the show that shoots laser beams.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Is there a button to activate that?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, no. No. All right, let's go find some Triforces.
Wait, what happened? Get away, you gross things!
I've been robbed. Stung. This sword is a fake. Oh, now we're really in trouble.
You're not kidding. Look!
Uh-oh, it's Ganon.
Take them!
Neil and I each have a Triforce this time around. Wow, the sword can be used for cutting and not just zapping. And the reason why I say that in the good points is because every time I see him use that sword, it's to zap Moblins, to zap the bomb-carrying Bone Brains, to zap Ganon himself. Using it as an energy weapon for so long, you begin to think of, okay, we live in this, Arthurian-type setting. Does the sword actually do some cutting? And apparently it does.
Well, it does have a blade, so apparently he does use
Yeah,
cutting something.
it does have a blade, and I think I forgot to mention this. I think it was in the last episode. At one point, he picks it up by the blade and not the hilt. Oh my god!
You're fired, Link.
Yeah, yeah. Did you notice the Tom and Jerry gag or the classic animation gag in this?
What was that?
Drop the rake and stepping on it.
Oh, yes.
And Ganon almost had them this time. Almost. But then they fight the pig-headed villain with insects, yay.
Yeah.
What did you like about this one?
I have a bunch of notes here. Some of it's just pure goofiness, but I like that when Link when Zelda lassos Goma, it yanks her off her feet and swings her around, and when that happens, it makes like this classic Hanna-Barbera wishing sound effect. I thought that was hilarious. And then Link drops a stalactite on the thing's head, and I swear it gouges in the thing's eyeball. It looks so gross.
Yeah, I think that's the most violent this cartoon has gotten.
I was like, ew.
Squish.
Yeah. And just pure weirdness is that they escape Ganon's lair, and they beat him to the castle. And I'm like, what?
Well, wait. Are they walking or are they riding the horses?
I don't know. It was like, okay, let's go back. And then they were at the castle and they're asking the Triforce. Well, here's another weird point is that they're talking to the Triforce, and Triforce is like, well, Ganon now has more magic than you do. And I'm like, wait a minute. Zelda's the primary magic user here. You're telling me they lose the sword and now none of them can use magic against Ganon.
Why? Why are these horrible, horrible images coming into my head?
I don't know.
Essentially, Sleazenose, Lorena Bobbitt, Link.
Oh, no.
Okay, so back to the whole beating them back to the castle thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember, and I watched this just yesterday, right before we recorded, but I don't remember if they were on horseback or if they were walking back to the castle. If they are on horseback, I can see them beating Ganon because I don't care how fast that, whatever the hell that bug is he rides on.
Yeah.
there's no way that bug is going to beat horses. But if they're on foot, yeah, I don't see how they beat him back to the castle. Oh. Maybe he had to straighten his nightgown out.
Maybe. And one last thing. I like that for once at the end of the episode, Zelda goes for the kiss. And then Link totally screws up with a bad pun. And she's like, oh, never mind.
I hate bad puns. Yeah. Oh boy! As far as for the for the bad points for Triforce of Power, the only thing I wrote down, and I realize this is probably the most. So far, episode 18 has pretty much been the most over-sexualized episode of the podcast with sexual references, but Link needs to stop thinking with his Link. He should have known better than to replace the Master Sword. Because that's how Sleazenose gets it, is he appeals to Link's vanity when it comes to Zelda.
Yeah.
Other than that, I didn't really, I was even looking for bad animation in this, and I didn't really notice any. This feels like an entire Aladdin plot altogether. I mean, hell, Sleazenose even almost looks like, well, sort of looks like the peddler guy from the. I mean, granted, this episode came out 3 or 4 years before the Disney Aladdin movie, but it just had that all you know, who was missing is Robin Williams as the genie in this.
Oh God! But yeah, that sword that he had was totally an Arabian sword.
Oh, it was, yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear something about aficionados, something about superheroes and sexy girls and more, and we'll be back after this.
We must stop them!
But how? Those Vire are probably halfway through the underground labyrinth by now.
I got it! Since all the pieces of the Triforce are magically linked, if you shoot a zap into this one, it'll go through to the others and zap the Vires.
Let's give it a shot. Did it work? Did we zap the Vires?
I hope so. Yes, I think so. Oh, see? This side feels wet. And this side, ow, feels hot. So that means one piece must have fallen somewhere wet, and the other piece is somewhere hot.
It's action. It's drama. It's comedy. It's Decian, the superhero webcomic. Decian has superhero antics and sexy girls. Catch updates weekly at Decian.com and NoSuperPants.com.
We how to prize like a free color crystal ball with remote. A set of Hyrulean eyes that never need sharpening. A lifetime subscription to Wizards Weekly.
Oh, pipe down, you old con man. You're getting what you deserve. If you hadn't cheated me out of my sword, none of us would be here now.
Both of you, stop arguing and start thinking about dinner. We're the main course, remember?
How about this as an early dessert?
Oh, we're about to be crab bait and he's feeling romantic.
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados.
And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and animationaficionados.com.
Now back to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Alright, as always, before we close out the show, we're going to rank the episodes. Even though there was a lot of bad animation, I still love Doppelganger. I don't think, it's sad, usually with episodes I usually still love, I usually just give them a 5 anyway, but there's some bad animation. Like, the one that's really sticking out to me is the the voice thing. I think it was, yeah, the good come on line is Zelda's voice, but coming from, like, if it was coming from anyone else other than Link, like, if it was shown coming out of anyone else's mouth, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but the fact that Zelda's voice is coming out of his body, that's just too wrong for me. So I got to give Doppelganger 4 out of 5. What about you?
I'll give it a 4. Because it was a fun episode and a little silly here and there.
Underworld Connections, what do you give that one?
I'll give that one a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm just going to give it a flat 3. And Stinging a Stinger.
That one I'll probably give it a 3.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm just going to give it a 3. Overall, 3 really good episodes. Have we rated anything low? Well, I think there was one time where you rated something a 1 or a 2, but like I don't think we've given any zeros at all.
No,
and we're 1 episode away from finishing the series.
Overall, a much better series of cartoons than the Mario cartoon.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. All right, what do you guys got coming up over at Animation Aficionados?
Well, we have a French anime episode coming up pretty soon, and probably about the time you're hearing this, you'll probably hear the Star Trek the Animated Series episode.
Oh, Lord. Oh, boy.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on Pixels in the Animation. There's always get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on each and every one of our episode posts. Email us, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Thank you again to Tim Silvers. He is currently the only one who has left us a review. Follow us on Twitter at GeekCastRadio is the network Twitter. Mine is TFG and Mike. What is your Twitter?
Neil Sama.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadio Network. You can also search out Neil's Classic Gaming. And you have a Decian page, don't you?
Yes, I do. I think it's facebook.com/DecianComic.
Okay, cool. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Pixels in the Animation. Wish you'll join us next time when we will be reviewing the final 4 episodes from Legend of Zelda. Those being A Hitch in the Works, Fairies in the Spring, The Missing Link, and The Moblins Are Revolting.
They certainly are.
Yes, they are. For now, I am TFG and Mike with
TV's Mr. Neil.
Tune in next week and help us find the pixels in the animation.
We're ready for a bench check.
Bench check coming up, Mario. All right, Inspector, we'll have you taken care of here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Very good.
Perfect. Oh, yes, sirree, Bob. Your RPM's at 3,000. Your oil is clean, but you ought to come back for a left foot alignment in about 3,000 miles.
And here's your 30-day parts and labor warranty. Just don't run over any nails.
Excellent. Well, tell me, will you gentlemen take a check?
Absolutely.
By the way, where did you find my new spare parts?
Oh, I got them at that novelty store on 33rd and 3rd.
A novelty store?
Right.
A novelty store. That figures. Well, thank you, Mario Brothers. I think I'll leave before you can do anything else to help.
Yo, Mario. Do you think that I should tell him about some of the other changes that we made?
Go. Rocket shoes.
I don't think so.